over Russian gas intensifies. The EU meeting in Brussels to settle their differences, with Hungary willing to veto an oil embargo and Germany looking for a compromise. Joining us now, Maria Tadeo in Brussels and Marie down in DC. Maria, first to you. How close are we, or far away are we from a deal over this kind of thing?
Well, Jonathan, you see how everything is changing here because, of course, the biggest issue was Germany. But now the Germans say they are open to potentially dropping this veto. I spoke with the German economy minister, Robert Habeck, just a few minutes ago, and he said if we do it gradually, and when we talk about an embargo, we should be careful and say this is a light embargo, Jonathan, because it would not be overnight and it would be gradual from now until the end of the year. But he says Germany would not oppose this. The issue is now turning to Hungary and, of course, and Viktor Orban, who says, well, they don't see how this would put an end to the war. They say it would have a big detrimental impact on their economy. And remember, every decision here gets taken by unanimity. You have to agree the EU 27 as a bloc. But I would say one thing, Jonathan, when you look at the Hungarians, throughout this process, they have voted in favor of all of these sanctions. So there is a difference between what Viktor Orban says in public and what he does behind the scenes. And until now, this unity is holding. Whether it happens this week, tomorrow, by the end of the month, that is unclear. There is no specific deadline on it. This, we understand, may not even happen today. But you can see that the sense of direction now, it is clear to see this oil embargo taking place. We talk about oil, not gas, for the time being. I put that question to the German economy minister, and he was very careful to say this would just imply oil, not gas. The reason was pretty obvious. Germany still imports 35% of gas. Unplugging from that is very difficult.
And the latter is far more important than the former, as we know. AMH, something's developing stateside that perhaps isn't getting talked about enough. Just slowly, output in America is creeping higher, just short of 12 million barrels a day. Ed Morse's City earlier on today said we can get back to 13. Do you anticipate we will start to see results here? Because as someone reminded me, crude might have come back down, gas prices haven't really, and the price of flying jet fuel hasn't in a big way either. Can we make some changes here stateside anytime soon?
And diesel as well, and that's why you see this is such a big part of the inflation story, because diesel is what trucks run on, and of course that is really the heart and soul of how you get groceries and goods around America. What you are seeing, Jonathan, what the administration wanted to do is they made this ask to oil producers to pump more. And what they would talk about, I know Amos Hochstein talked about this with you, Tom and Lisa, about a 6-month gap. And that is why they wanted to tap the SPR to hopefully hold them over to when later in the year they do believe that there's going to be more investment and more production coming out of the United States. We also should note there is an OPEC meeting this week, Jonathan. So potentially we could see action from the OPEC Plus cartel, and potentially that will drive some direction in what we see from other major producers. Anne-Marie, down in DC, alongside Maria Tadeo in Brussels, as Trevor Noah, the comedian, said over the weekend at the White House Correspondents' Dinner to the President. So you've come into office, and since then, things are really looking up. Gas is up, rent is up, food is up, everything is up. To the two of you, thank you. Ed Morse's City weighing in on some of this, saying it's unlikely the EU will reach an agreement. Take a listen.
If Germany is not going to use its veto power in the EU, Hungary certainly will. So we don't think there's going to be an overall European Community agreement on not pulling in natural gas or oil from Russia. We don't think the Russians are going to pull back because income is better than no income.
Julian Lee joins us now from Bloomberg. Julian, if it's not Germany, it's Hungary. If it's not Hungary, it's Germany again. Any chance of a European-level deal on this kind of thing anytime soon?
I think it's looking very uncertain at the moment. I mean, you know, we have seen the Hungarians repeatedly saying that they won't go along with sanctions, and yet every time they have done. I think energy, and at the moment we're looking only at oil and not gas, as you said, that may be a sticking point. But in some senses, you don't really need an EU-wide embargo. If Germany decides that it's going to stop buying and winds down its imports, if some of the other big importers of Russian oil do the same, it doesn't really matter whether that's done through the EU or not. What matters is who's buying.
Julian, you go a little bit deeper as well, beyond just Russian crude. We took a little snippet of your recent column, and this was the quote we pulled out. Putting restrictions on Russian crude is one thing. Trying to stop the sale of Russian refined products is much more complicated, in part because it's not clear what can or should be included. Julian, can you just speak a little bit more on that? Because I'm not sure how familiar many of us are with that particular story.
Yeah, I mean, it's very easy to see what is Russian crude and what isn't. There are, there's one perhaps slightly ambiguous grade that's 90% from Kazakhstan and 10% from Russia, but I think that that's very likely to be left out of any sanctions, and quite rightly too. But when you get to refined products, it gets a lot more difficult, particularly if you start to think about this big movement that we're seeing of Russian crude going to refineries in Asia, particularly in India, because those refineries then re-export a significant proportion of the products they make. So is a cargo of diesel that is made in India or processed in an Indian refinery that is running Russian crude, does that diesel then fall under sanctions, or doesn't it? Is it Russian diesel or is it Indian diesel? And that, I think, becomes a much more complicated question. My suspicion is that those kinds of products will probably be left out, because if you include those, then maybe you start creating real problems in terms of diesel shortages.
Julian, wonderful to get your thoughts and some clarity on a really important topic, as we've gotten used to in Europe for a long, long time. They talk for a long time and then end up with a fudge and a suboptimal outcome. And to Julian's point, maybe that's what this ends up like as well. Julian Lee there of Bloomberg Intelligence and Bloomberg Opinion. Coming up, the market-moving events you need to be watching. That'll be next in our trading diary. From New York City this morning, good morning. This is Bloomberg.
Front Row, exclusive interviews with the most influential figures.
Stocked early enough all these precious materials you were just mentioning, and we were on the lucky side that our prognosis was spot on.
Into the session this Monday morning. Good morning. Kicking off the month of May with equities just about positive by 1/10 of 1% on the S&P, and the Nasdaq up by 1/2 of 1%. That's the price action. Here's your trading diary. At the top of the hour, the ISM manufacturing number, US factory orders, and an RBA rate decision on Tuesday, a rate decision from the Fed, and a Powell news conference on Wednesday. The Bank of England with its own rate decision this coming Thursday. And finally, we round out the week with a payrolls report in America. The estimate so far, moving target, of course, in our survey, the median estimate 391,000 from a previous number of 431. Big week ahead. Thank you for choosing Bloomberg TV. For our audience worldwide, this was the countdown to the open. This is Bloomberg.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. How are you doing today? It is Monday, May 2nd, and I'm your boy, Christian Israel, and you are tuned into Christ in Crypto here in the morning. This is a place where every single day, guys, we come and talk about what is going around the news in the world in three parts. The first part is technical analysis, and we call that long sum, short sum. And today on the technical analysis, we're going to just kind of break down the overall market structure, which we did last Friday. And we've kind of come into our correction or exactly where we expect to be. The question is, was that enough? And are we going forward? So we'll look at XRP, Bitcoin, ApeCoin, and just kind of get a good idea. The second one is our daily topics section. And we're going to dive into the Brad Garlinhouse interview about a new office possibly opened in Ireland. And will the SEC Ripple case be done this year? And will those Hinman emails be released? So that's not really my opinion. We're going to use other YouTubers today, a little bit there. And then last but not least, you know, Christ comes in threes. And we'll be doing the third section called the New Creation Daily Scriptures. And we're going to talk about let your requests be known to God. And we're going to go over Philippians chapter 4, verses 2 to 10. Okay, so that is on doc today. I'm going to make sure I hit record. And now we are recording because you guys know that we upload these in threes every single day. So if you follow us on Twitter, you follow us on the podcasts or TikTok, Spotify, wherever you seem to follow us at, we are there. And we appreciate you. Every single show, we're just looking just for 10 likes. That keeps the algorithm flowing. And just so you know, even my Twitter has had more engagement since Elon started the buy. So there's something there. Anyway, guys, we have a deep show today. A couple clips to go through and just really talk about what's happening in the space because it is May, and I am ready to get rolling. So just a reminder, I'll do the introduction every single time before each one of these sections. I'm really happy to have you guys here. I see Lee Lord, bullish on XRP. Rope-a-dope, Ilya is in the house. It is great to see you guys this morning, and what a wonderful day it is. So please make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share, do all those social media things. Okay, guys? So let's go ahead and fade to black and hit that long sum, short sum, shall we? Okay, we are here. What is going on, everybody? Oh no, shoot. All right, let's try that one more time. I heard a whole bunch of things going on in my living room, so I had to turn off the TV. Let's try that one more time. I'll upload that later. Can we do that one more time just for my uploading later? I am so sorry that I just gave you that twice. So for the purposes of me having to edit later, I'm going to do that one more time just to get that rolling, okay? It's Monday, guys. I appreciate you. So let me hit long sum, short sum, intro, and get this rolling the right way. Let's try one more time, guys. Yeah, now we're going. It's so early in the morning, man. It was my middle daughter's birthday yesterday, so that was exciting. Anyway, let's get into these charts. My name is Christian Israel, and you are tuned into Long Sum, Short Sum. This is the first section of 3 every single day, Monday through Friday on the Christ in Crypto Morning Show. The first section is Long Sum, Short Sum, which we are going to discuss technical analysis today using Elliott Wave, structure, pivot points, technical analysis, and last but not least, why am I blanking this morning? I am in a serious blank this morning. Elliott Wave structure, Fibonacci retracement, There we go. That's the other word. Elliott wave and fibs. Is that what I work on? Man, it is a rough Monday morning. I hope you guys are doing okay. Okay, so let's see what is going on in these charts this morning. We have Bitcoin at 38,916, still up under 40,000, up under 39,000, which is to be expected. We're going to go into this. You guys know Ethereum with all its $58 million in fees over the weekend at 2,830. You got BNB still under 400 at 389 in the number 3 spot. XRP is actually in the number 4 spot. Wow, welcome. Let's see. Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, XRP at 61.3. It's almost over. Solana, $88 in the number 5 spot. Terra at 84.65 in the number 6. Cardano in number 7 at 78.12. And number 8 is Doge. Elon coin, number 9 or at 13.1. Number 9 is Polkadot at 14.97. And number 10 is Avalanche, AVAX at 58.08. So let's go ahead and dive into some of these charts. And just a quick reminder, this is what we went over on Friday. I know that looks crazy, but in other words, what this says in a blip, if you want to go over Fridays, go look at Friday. I deep dove into what to expect over the next 90 days. And this is where I think we are. And if I'm going to zoom in just to see what the Dixie looks like, we're going to zoom all the way in and see. Look at that. Nice little pullback. That's the 5-day. Let's go into the 1-day real quick. See that? This is what we want to see on the Dixie. That rejection right there, that is to look to be the start of something special. So we'll see if that works out, okay? Let me make sure I say hi to Lee. I see Lee. I see AJ there. Good. I see Alex Diaz. What's going on, brother? Okay, so let's dive in quick to the market. We know it had a little scary move down, which was expected this morning to see a little more down move in the NASDAQ and in the Dow Jones to finish its completion of these wave structures. So this, my friends, is the NASDAQ composite on the week. So this is where we are. We've got 4 days left in the week. If we go ahead and zoom in on the daily, we can get a good idea of what's happening. We have officially back tested this zone from March of 2021. So this is where we are in the NASDAQ. I fully expect this to be a hold area. Now, let's talk about if the NASDAQ does not hold here. I think it's very important. If the NASDAQ does not hold here and we go to our next level, which you guys know I'm big on 2.414s or 414s, period, right? Period. Whew, I don't really want to talk about it. If that happens, man, short hard, because this is a move here. Remember, this is just what happened in this move here from 12 to 1250 or 12 to 3, 12.9 to 12.3 that happened last week brought crypto way down, right? So if we continue to move down another 10+%, I don't want to talk about it. Is that a possibility for this to come here? Well, in most Elliott wave structures, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5, yes, big possibility to come back and back test this. However, we are back testing right here on the 1.702, but this area is something we have to look out for. And I think it's very, very important to pay attention to what is happening in the NASDAQ, because if we do not pay attention to what is happening here in the NASDAQ, you're going to be upset. And if you think it doesn't follow or crypto does not follow, you're going to be disappointed. Okay, so please pay attention to that. That's why we're here looking at that. Now, what is going on in the Bitcoin? And this is a chart that we have followed. As I told you guys last week that we had a channel here. As you can see, I'll pull back. This channel was ranging and we thought we'd hold it. Then the parabola broke back in a week and a half ago in March, and we slowly began to make our way in a southeast channel. Okay, we started going southeast downwards, and we're curious on how that's going to work, because in reality, if I stretch this papa out, it's kind of sort of been there. You can see that's the middle. See how that rejected off the middle of that channel and then comes into this channel? I know that's not legit TA. It's just a concept. But we are still rejecting here under the pivot. but inside of the best part of the VPVR. And you guys know the VPVR is our visible range, which is like our sandbox, right? It's our area of support. However, when we compact it a little bit, we're also at resistance. So right now, Bitcoin is sitting at major resistance. Where are you, my little? There you are. At major resistance. Okay, we're at the pivot. We're at the up channel here. We're at the down channel here. We're at this VPVR here. So everything says reject. Okay, everything there says reject. And so what else do we look at? Well, this is what I'm going to look at on the 4 hour. So don't mind these here because that's a different time frame. This dotted line here, okay, the RSI is your relative strength index. It means the strength of the overall move. So this was the move we had going into last week. And now we're here over the weekend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly looking for a move continued back above the 50% line on the RSI. Anything in this area, guys, you already know that. In this area is bullish. Anything down here is bearish, looking for that. Now, with that said, this is our trend line here, okay? And this is on the 4 hour. Let's go here. Let's go to the top, okay? This is what we're looking at. So are we going to continue, right, to explode up for a little bit of a move here and then come do this? Whoop, right? Is this what we're looking for? Or are we looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Oh, I just hit something. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or are we looking for something down here? Now, no, it's crazy, but we've come down here back in December. And that would give ultimate bearishness. Now, right now we're above that chart. So I'm not really looking for that in this moment. Our volume is a little higher. It's kind of topping area higher. So we're going to look for some possible back testing movement. We are back above the 2.414 in Bitcoin. But again, this area right here is so much resistance and so much shorting power that we need to pay attention. Okay. I am not personally believing we go all the way down, but I have to follow the charts. And what does the charts tell me? What do the charts tell me? Why does that keep doing that? Oh, that's because this is here. What do the charts tell me? The charts tell me that we are currently in a downtrend, and until we break back up, you want to know, back up above 39,000. We need to break back into 39,000, which puts us back into this channel. In reality, back over 39.9. So back over 39.9, we are back in, I'm not saying bullish, but I'm saying the upward channel for Bitcoin, okay? That's what I'm looking at here. It's Monday. I don't really like to tell you to long or short on a Monday, mainly because we don't know what's going on in the equities. The equities are insane, but we see the NASDAQ giving us a little green arrow here, so a little green candle, so we will continue to see what that looks like, okay? And this is your Heikinashi, so you get a good idea, a better idea of the wave structure. Okay, let's look at XRP. Now, I tweeted this out the other day, and let's go to Twitter, and I'm going to just pull that up real quick and show you. Okay, oh, nope, that's not it. Here it is. All right. So this is what I pulled up on Twitter for you guys. Last time XRP was this oversold on the daily time frame was January 28th. Less than 16 days later, I said 10, I meant to say 16. Less than 16 days later, it was up 66.5%. Okay? So here is, now that I pulled that up for you, I can actually pull up the actual chart. Okay? Here's the actual chart, and we'll do this so you can get a good idea. Bring it down. Okay? Here we go. So we're oversold in this same area on the RSI on the daily. The good thing is the RSI did not make a lower low. Okay? So here. So I am looking, and this is what I would like. I know some people are like, lower, 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 lower. As long as we don't break this low, which is 54.6, I can't say that we're going lower. I cannot say that we're going lower. It's just It does not, just to say it doesn't make sense to me. Right now, we bounced right back into XRP's back zone, which we have been waiting on. It went a little deeper than we thought. I was screaming, what, 58, 57, right? 58, 57. It went to 56. We always know it breaks slower. And now expecting on this Tuesday or on this Monday, a back test, right? Some kind of pullback. It's just Monday equities. It's what I'm expecting. But here, this is the big, right? So it grinded out. Now, it's not having the same effect. If we look, it kind of goes down a little bit. So we'll see. But being this oversold on the daily time frame is only that's one time since January 20. What's the other time? Oh, look at that. The other times it's been down here, guys, March 2020 and December 19. Well, let's take a look. Let's just take a look. Let's put an arrow. Let's put an arrow. Right there. Right there. Let's time. Where are we? Yoink. Right there. And yoink. Right there. All right. Both times. Let's go ahead and get a percentage here. Date and time percentage. From that to the next move. This said 65 days later from that move was up 105%. So 2 months, 105%. You want to do the first major bounce? In 38 days, it was 48%, 50%. Okay, so let's go on this one. Same thing. Let's go to the first move. 67 days, 128%. Well, let's keep it going. 160 days, 216%. And I think this is going to last another 120 days, something like that. And this is backhand out of C19. And we can just keep on going. In fact, we can go so much to tell you that the top of that move, when it was the second to last time it was way down here, about a year later was up 1,600%. Okay? So I think it's important to let you know that XRP does not hang down here very long. So I will be looking for entries. I did make a couple trades this weekend. Caught the 57.75. I traded that 3 times this weekend in XRP. Not in and out of my hodls, but quick little margin trades. Not a lot, just a little 25% makes here and there. That's it. Because there's always a pullback of some sort. So I'm going to let the charts do what they may. And that is what I see. And if we zoom in real quick, let's get you on a 3-hour so you can see what's happening here. Okay, this was to give you some idea, because I've taken prices off, but let's go ahead and do levels. Okay. So our 4.414 is way down here, saying that XRP was in the 50 cent range, looking for 50 cents. It actually came down to 2.326, which normally when it turns around there, like completely turns around at 56.25, 56.3, when it completely turns around at like a 2.236, that means it's going to continue and backtest and go for its bull run. The more we have those full extensions, guys, like all the way down to the 4.414, the more likely that's a continuation pattern after a bounce. So the fact that we bounced into the level on XRP, which is what we want to see, if I zoom out real quick for you, right? We bounced into this level here, which is what we want to see. That's exciting. Just to give you a quick pullback to see, here's our VPVR. We've rejected a couple times, right? More than a couple. 1, 2, 3 rejections here. But look, a low, a lower high, a lower high. We did not make a lower low. Now, if we break and go under 54.7, let's just say 54.5, the TA that I tell you right now changes, right? But right now, this is where we are. This is where we are, and this is where we have to stay. Now, the VPVR shows us okay. I guess it doesn't. There we go. The VPR shows us right now that we are in between a rock and a hard place. If this holds here, then we're going to fight this area of 62. You see that? But if this breaks back down, first stop 59, second stop 59 or 59 and a half, 60, then 59. So this area here, guys, I'll just do this. Where we are right now, where we spent the last, week and a half? Okay? This area right here, exactly where that moves, that is going to be our have to explode out of area. I don't really see us grinding. So what I would see if we get out of this area, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. When we get out of this area, come up, down, right? It's going to fire up, down, and then grind up, right? That's what it would look like. Why do I draw it like that? Because that's kind of where the VPVR is. You see this? So if we break through, you'll see a fire up. It probably will fire up to here. It's like 65, and then roll back over on top of 62. And that's the easy way to use the VPVR, because that's going to be your most resistance. Okay? So, but if you guys have been following, we've been waiting for what? That correction to play out for a while, have we not? And I can show you, this is literally what we talked about the other day. And if you're here, you've seen this chart get built, so this is not as scary to you. But I can get rid of all that now, right? We were looking for this to be an A, B, C correction. And we are right back in that territory right now. So since we are there, now we wait. We let the market makers do what they do. Be patient. But I told you that was a great entry. That was a great entry. If you missed it back in January, this was your chance to come back. And look at that. 3-4 months. January, February, March, April. 4.5 months, because it's May 2nd. 4.5 months to get back there. So look how long the correction plays. It fires up quickly, and then the pullback happens. So we got to be very, very patient. Things that we've learned on this channel, things you've learned as we've educated ourselves in exactly how this manipulated market works. So real quick, let's look at H-bar, because H-bar is still in my falling wedge, and it's kind of falling out of the falling wedge. So I'm watching this mainly because looking for a good entry. Now, we're in that territory. We did kind of make that lower low there. So now I'm possibly looking at 2.414. But just like I spoke on with was it Bitcoin or XRP? I forgot which one I just said. Anyway, but it stopped at the 2.236. And if it stops there and holds, right, this is the daily, then we're going to turn around. And when we turn around, we're going to head on our way back up. So I'm kind of looking at the different assets across the board. And one of those as well was Ape. This was my call with Ape. I actually sent out a short on Ape at 22.5. It was just early because it blew up to the 3.414. Did not do the full extension. And now it's rolled over and went outside. It is now officially outside of that parabola. And you guys know what has happened when it comes outside the parabola, right? Couple things. It can go down a little bit, then up, and then down. But here's the thing. Here's the positive news for you Ape folks. Okay, let's extend that out. We have not finished this move. I'm not saying we have to finish. But we have not finished up there. So, is this ABC? That's the next question. Or is it going to be 5 waves down? So we dig in just a little bit deeper. And I want to see what's happening here. So we see, got a little wave structure here. I see a 1, 2, 3. Oh, look at that. ABC, then a 1. Well, that looks like 1, 2, doesn't it? So there's your 1, 2 wave on the way down. Now, this is what we're going to test. This is on the 4-hour. So we're going to go trend extension high, low, high. Okay, so what am I looking for? $12.14. $12.15. That's what I'll be looking for, which will bring us back around the 2.236. In this area that we haven't back tested yet. That's what I'll be looking at. Just a quick look at Ape. I'm gonna do another confirmation look. Let's go on the closer, a little closer to the 1 hour. I'm gonna look at this right here. See this, just to measure out a movement. Boom. Let's measure that movement out. Where does that So we're under the 2.414 of that movement now, which is okay. But that means there might be more down movement, bringing us to the 3.414, which is around the same area. Now let's check real quick. Where's the 1.414 here? 1702 to rip us around. Okay, just checking. So I'm expecting a little bit more down move. A little more down movement with ape. A, B, C. Now, could this be... Let's do Heikin-Ashi to get a better idea of where we're at for our wave structure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we might be working on 5 right now with ape. So that's what I would look into to finish wave 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, that technically is enough, but it never really finishes that way. It always seems to want to do more. And let's just check. Oh, well, look at that. Well, look at that. This wave here seems to be finished at the 4.14. So that just finished out. So we could be looking at a possible bounce, like I said, back to A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do not know what it is yet. So I cannot give you a 100% call there. However, normally if there's 5 waves up, you get an ABC and 5 waves down as well. 2, 3, back in, back testing. So that's like here, back testing somewhere in here. And then finishing quickly. So I don't know what that means for the rest of the market. But that's what it looks like for ape. And ape was moving complete opposite direction of the rest of crypto. So there you go. And this is not too much. This is just me showing you what is going on in the market. Today is not so much a make a long or a short call. On Mondays, we want to see what's happening. Did the correction play out? Is what we still saw on Friday playing out? And the answer is yes. The answer is absolutely yes. And we want to continue to watch the Dixie. We want to continue to watch the stock market, which is now red on the NASDAQ composite. Okay, so we want to watch these things really for the intraday. So around noon Eastern time, all the way into 1:30, 2 o'clock Central time, which would be around the close there. Those 3 hours of movement is going to be a big deal on what happens on Tuesday moving forward. So be on the lookout. I will upload stuff on Twitter, some charts there as well. So make sure you pay attention to that. Besides that, guys, this has been a long TA section, and that's because I want to show you guys what's going on in the market. But let me remind you, you're going to make me build this way. 4, where are you at? There you go. Let me remind you that this is the chart we are watching. This one right here, I know it's the 5-day, so this is the chart we are watching. All 5 of those. You want this, I'll link that up later. Remember, there's a new Creation Cronies group, Creation Cronies group where you guys can come in and talk info. And then I do have a trading group. If you're interested in being in a trading group, let me know. Shoot me a message on Twitter, DM me on any of those, and we can talk, okay? For the most part, that's it for the day. That is it for your TA today. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and I'll try to get MNW. I see that's a request. I'll try to get that in the next section, okay? All right, guys, for now, that is the end of long sum, short sum, and let's go ahead and call that a show, shall we? Let's get out of here. Okay. So we are back, and I want to check in because I just want to go in now. Now that we've done that, we can go on the 5-minute here and do what I really want to do and zoom in. This is my 5-minute. I want to get a much better idea. We have not done a full extension yet, all the way to full targets for XRP, but we are getting there. All right, what am I looking at to see here? MNW. Morpheus Network. Oh, yeah. Okay. You're looking a little Web3 there. All right. Let's see how much data we have. See if we have some data here. I'm going to go on the daily. Oh, man. Well, This is what Morpheus Network looks like. It looks like it's gone straight down. What's crazy is your RSI was here, so there was a lot of momentum to get from 74 cents to $1.73. Like a lot, it took a lot of effort. But during this push down here, they just kind of sold and kept it under the RSI, and now we're back under the RSI here with momentum rolling down on the daily. Now, I'll do this real quick just to see, and then I got to move on because we got a lot of crypto, a lot of Brad news today. Okay, so, however, also, if this stands true, because I don't know much about this rope-a-dope, Ilya, but we are on the parabola. And you know my rules on the parabola. If it breaks, we go lower. So, we're just going to do it real quick. We got a high, low. There it is. Bang. Oh, there's our original low because that already had. Now we had a higher low. So let's go here. All right. So we zoom in on that. We are literally back testing the 1.414. Just did it yesterday. Okay. Now it's going to look to back test 93 cents. If 93 cents holds and does not break below 90, my friend, we are going off and heading to the full extension of 270. But the next stop will be 181. Okay. So that is Morpheus Network. Whoop. This is the section that we'll be looking at right there. I'll go ahead and lock that in and save this chart for you. All right, that chart is saved. And now, my friends, we're going to be able to move on to the next one. So let's see if there's, so cool. High bullish, Lee, AJ, Dragonfire. It's good to see you guys. It's good to see you guys. Appreciate you all. If you are just getting here, make sure you hit that like button. The goal is to get to 10 likes per show. Therefore, we do not get shadow banned. And I'm pretty sure I saw somebody say they couldn't find me. I thought I read it, but I did not see it over there. So I definitely saw that earlier. But this is where we are right now. So we're going, I'm just making sure. Thank you, Lee Lord. He says amazing explanation of the charts. I appreciate you. I forget to say this, guys, and I'm not asking you to do this, but YouTube has monetized my channel and they have allowed people to super chat and do those things. And I haven't figured out how to do that, but I was notified. I'm now monetized. You know, we're all about trying to make extra money how you can here, right? How you can. But remember, free is always free. So use Brave chart, right? Brave browser, you get free crypto doing that. Just do those little things, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and figure out where we are going to dive into the news and get us prepped and ready. Yep. There's all this, okay? There's all this. You guys ready to go ahead and dive into it? All right, let's go ahead and dive into the news. Let's fade to black. I am struggling this morning. Why am I struggling this morning? I woke up, I got coffee, I'm early. I am struggling this morning. And it's because I took the full weekend off. I took the full weekend off. I didn't really come in here and stare at charts for 13, 14 hours a day. I didn't go reading news. I took the whole weekend off. And it's showing on this Monday morning. If you don't know who I am, well, welcome to the weird guy they call Christian Israel. I'm here every single Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Central Time. This is Christ and Crypto in the Morning. We break this down in 3 sections. The first section, we do TA and talk about technical analysis using Elliott waves, structure for the most part, right? And fib extensions for the most part, outside of regular technical analysis. And then we use the news for the second part. And this is the second part. And today we're going to talk about, focus more on XRP and Ripple, and then kind of a little news there and play some clips for you. I don't want to do too much, but let's just jump right in. So I want to talk about real quick, and I'm going to switch screens so I can get my face out of here. Boom. All right, not my face, but the rest of the screen so you can see the whole thing. So over the weekend, I don't know if you guys did the ape coin metaverse jump, but a lot of people spend a lot of money on fees. And this also came out. It says, this is Cooper Coons. It says, we should all appreciate the irony of Ethereum currently being practically unusable to gas fees. We're talking millions of dollars in fees this weekend. And Solana had another DDoS bot attack. In other words, they both shut down. And my response to this was that NFTs are coming soon. NFTs on the XRP ledger, well, I said is improper, are coming soon. So that is my thought process there. So why does all that matter? Why is XRP being hated so much? Like so much. I mean, even the coin market tweet last week and so forth. There's a great article thread by Panos that you can go over. That's not what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about and play for you Mrs. Hogan and her analysis based on the new order put out by Judge Torres. Here we go. Let me go ahead and play this.
Rule on something is, at the end of the day, just an educated guess. For example, if she decides she needs
Mrs. Hogan and her analysis based. I thought I was playing
oral
it.
argument, then that would likely push
Okay, it's
back
playing. There we
judgment
go.
on the case. Or, for example, if there is an appeal pending on the discovery issue, that could delay things. But what we know for sure is that the judge won't be ruling on the case in September. A judicial ruling is not coming until December and possibly even early 2023, which brings us, of course, to the completely baffling Hinman emails and the SEC's death quest to protect these emails at any cost. And with the deliberative process privilege argument not going well for the SEC, it just filed a motion to not produce the Hinman speech emails and argue that the emails are also protected by attorney-client privilege. It's interesting to note that at this point in time, the SEC has spent more time and effort trying to protect these emails than any other issue in this litigation, including fighting over things like whether XRP is a security or not. Interesting. In any case, here is the motion and what the SEC is asking the court. The SEC renews its assertion that the attorney-client privilege protects internal documents related to a June 14, 2018 speech delivered by Bill Hinman, the then director of the SEC's Division of Corporate Finance. So where did this come from? The SEC raised attorney-client privilege back in August 2021, and it sat dormant pending resolution of the deliberative process privilege arguments since then. It's almost like the SEC kept this argument in its back pocket in case the deliberative privilege argument didn't go well for it, which it hasn't at all. The attorney-client privilege is the oldest and most important privilege in law and is meant to protect communications between you and your lawyer, so what you tell your lawyer can't be used against you. The test for what is covered is simple. Attorney-client privilege covers communications, 1, between you and your lawyer, 2, that are confidential, and 3, which communications constitute legal advice. I used to work for a law firm that represented California cities, and this issue was of course important to us. And working for a government agency can cause confusion about the first part of the test. Who is the client? And that is the first thing that the SEC is going to struggle with in this motion. First off, the SEC has taken no less than 3 positions on whose opinion the speech was. So back in August of last year, when the attorney-client privilege was first raised, it was the SEC's opinion, then it later became Mr. Hinman's personal opinion, then it finally became the division's opinion. And now we might understand the strategy behind that, because in arguing its motion, the SEC characterizes the first group of emails as being legal guidance from within the division itself. The first 23 entries listed on attachment 1 to the motion reflect drafts that these attorneys exchanged among themselves with Director Hinman and with CorpFin attorneys who held responsibility for digital assets. So the SEC is trying to say that the first 23 emails are all emails from the division's lawyers only, and that the argument here is that the division itself is the client, and anything that's said within the division is attorney-client privilege. The problem the SEC is going to run into is that the court has already taken a hard position that Mr. Hinman's speech was his personal opinion. And as the SEC admits in its motion, Mr. Hinman had a personal attorney, Michael Seaman, and Attorney Seaman was also involved in advising Mr. Hinman on the speech. If Director Hinman had his own personal lawyer to advise him, Were the other numerous lawyers who emailed him about the speech also his attorneys? There's a case called Baxter versus Reed, which gives some insight for us. And in that case, the attorney for the city met with 2 council members and also 2 people from the fire department to talk about a lawsuit. And the court said that the inclusion of the people from the fire department stopped attorney-client privilege from applying. That will likely be something Ripple will be arguing on the first prong of the test. But the bigger problem for the SEC is the third prong, which asks whether legal advice was provided in the emails. When going into this discussion in its motion, the SEC hesitates a little. Entries 1 to 23 analyze the application of the securities law to digital assets, a primary legal issue. The exchange of those drafts among court firm attorneys allowed them to provide the type of advice that can be rendered only by consulting the legal authorities. That's about as detailed as the SEC gets in arguing that legal advice was given, and that's a problem for its argument, especially in the context that the speech was Hinman's personal opinion. If the email exchanges were simply, "What do you think about this speech?" and the attorneys discuss whether it accurately reflects the application of the Howey test to digital assets, that's not the kind of legal advice covered by attorney-client privilege. The kind of thing in the emails which would make it attorney-client privilege would be, for example, if an attorney told Mr. Hinman he should remove a part of the speech because the SEC rules don't allow him to disclose certain information. That might be attorney-client privilege. But even then, that begs the question, why didn't his personal lawyer give him that legal advice? But I think if the emails are just general discussions about applying Howey to digital assets, that is not attorney-client privilege. The privilege can't be stretched that far. Ripple, on the other hand, will have a difficult time arguing this motion because it doesn't know exactly what is in the emails, because it hasn't seen them, and will have to rely on the judge to apply the law correctly upon review. This issue will be playing out over the next month, and as you see it come up, remember to ask, 1, was Hinman even the client? And 2, was there legal advice given, or was it just general legal discussion? That second question is likely what the decision will hinge on. As always, thanks for watching, and yes, Mr. Crown for XRP on Twitter.
That is the easiest way for me to be explained, is to have a professional attorney, and you guys know Mrs. Hogan, right? Jeremy's wife from Legal Briefs, explain. Now, we didn't go into the dates because that was the first half of it, and there's no need to do that. Basically, they think that this is going to be over before December, right before Christmas. At the latest, January 2023. All depends on how long it takes her to go over the arguments and if they need oral arguments. Okay? We know that. Now, the question here is, what is going on with these emails? Like, I don't understand. You brought us, I'm saying us, because you said all XRP people that invest in XRP are holding securities. So we're saying the SEC brought the suit against us. Okay? But why are you hiding the emails? I just don't understand. Like, what do these emails really say? 4 different stances on it, where the judge has already said, no, it's his public opinion. That's what you said. And now that the fact it's his public opinion, then we're going to get him released. And now it's a lawyer. And now it's ethics. And now it's private conversation between attorney. But are they all your attorneys? Are they all personal attorneys? This is a crock show. For real. Like, what kind of show is this? I don't know, but I wanted to play that for you so you get a good idea. And today is not a lot of me speaking about XRP. I'm going to let Brad speak to you guys about it more. And this interview, now I'm halfway through this interview. It's 6 minutes and 20 seconds, 6 minutes and 22 seconds into this interview. But Brad reveals some secrets in here. And I don't want to interrupt. There's no monetization, copyright stuff to play this interview. So I'm going to let it play. And I'm going to shut up, and I want you to listen to it. Listen to what he says, because, one, look at this man's smirk on his. He's in the Bahamas here, by the way. He was just on Bloomberg. Now he's in the Bahamas, and these guys are doing real things. So if you haven't seen the whole interview, I've uploaded most of it on TikTok, but here's the whole thing, and I just want you to listen to it because it's important to know what you own. See what he's saying. Now, this is a guy that's apparently, probably the most hated crypto in the whole crypto space is XRP. You got to wonder why. All right. So let's make sure and let's go ahead and play this.
Yeah. And as well, some countries plan to launch the central bank digital currencies. China already has a successful launch of digital yuan. So how do you see the existence of both cryptocurrency and central bank digital currencies?
Well, typically, I mean, the way Ripple looks at this is Ripple's really trying to solve that cross-border payments problem. You know, central bank digital currencies are domestic by nature. They're issued by a central bank or potentially issued by a central bank. So they're not really solving cross-border problems. They're solving domestic solutions more often than not. So look, I think that what we're seeing happen with stablecoins, we're seeing happening with central bank issued digital assets, I think is exciting. I'm not exactly clear how it's all going to play out. You're seeing countries experiment and test. Ripple has partnered with several central banks around the world. Some we've announced, some we haven't yet announced, that they're issuing and testing using the XRP ledger to issue their digital assets on the XRP ledger as a token. So we're excited to be working with them. And look, at our core, Ripple's really good at working with enterprise customers. A government is just a big enterprise customer. You know, we know how to sell to.
That's an interesting notion.
I mean, in some ways, it's just a really big enterprise customer, and we're pretty good at that now because we've had a lot of experience with it and worked with some of the largest banks in the world, as well as a lot of the smaller payment companies that have grown very quickly using our technology. It's helped them grow more quickly.
And what are your thoughts on stablecoins?
I put stablecoins in the same category. I mean, you know, look, here in the US, stablecoins face some of the same problems that the crypto industry at large faces, where you have a very aggressive Securities and Exchange Commission making statements about are those securities, and you know, I think you're seeing uncertainty around how that will play out. But look, I think, as I've said, it's a multi-chain world. I think there will not be one solution to rule them all, and I think there'll be solutions that cooperate with each other and integrate with each other in ways that help both projects.
And in your opinion, what is needed for the mass adoption of crypto?
Well, look, I mean, it's an interesting question because I'd start by saying I think over 50 million people in the United States are already have crypto exposure one way or another, and so that's kind of mass adoption. You know, that's a lot of people. Now, do I think that is, I think a lot more people will be participating in the crypto markets in 5 more years. So I think things like NFTs have opened up exposure to new customer segments. I also think a lot of this will be in non-G20 markets where you don't have strong currencies like the dollar or euro or yen or pound. And you know, if you are, I'll pick on the Zimbabwe dollar, you know, this is a currency that the central government has kind of lost control of a couple of times in history. And I think you may see that digital assets enter consumer use cases more prevalently or more actively in markets where you don't have strong domestic currency.
And what are your thoughts about DeFi, and does Ripple do something in that space?
You know, I was asked on stage in Puerto Rico about DeFi, and I think my response was confused. I would maybe expand that to just say I'm excited and confused. You know, there's no doubt in my mind that decentralized finance applications, there's some very compelling ones. To some degree, DeFi means different things to different people. The only thing I would caution against, sometimes people talk about DeFi in a way that there are some certain foundational regulatory frameworks that matter globally. And it doesn't matter for the United States or in Europe and Asia. Government regulators care about something called KYC, know your customer. And when you talk about true DeFi and you have anonymous transactions and decentralized autonomous organizations that don't have KYC-able owners, if you will, or principals, I think it makes it very hard for those entities to integrate and partner and participate in the traditionally defined financial system. So I think it's to be determined how that all plays out.
But now we see as well big DeFi players launching somehow DeFi for institutionals with this KYC and whitelist.
We shall see how it plays out.
Yeah, and can you share something about your portfolio? What other coins except Ripple, XRP do you have?
I keep that to myself mostly. I mean, I am involved in kind of index of various other leading cryptos, but I don't do it, even in the stock market. You know, I don't do a lot of individual stock picks for the same reason. But,
So do you still invest into stocks, or are you all into crypto?
I would say about 90% of my personal net worth is in crypto.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And can you share some plans for the development of Ripple? Any
Sure.
new exciting partnerships?
Sure. Maybe if you don't mind, last question, I'll touch on this and then we'll wrap up. But look, I think for Ripple, one of the things I have talked about a little bit publicly is that I was exposed, very fortunately, to Amazon in the very earliest days. I met with Jeff Bezos in 1996. And at the time it was called Amazon Books. And Amazon was a bookseller, and they competed just with books. In some ways, I think about what Amazon was to books as Ripple is to cross-border payments. Mm-hmm. Blockchain technologies can solve and reduce friction of transactions in lots of industries and lots of use cases. Ripple started with cross-border transactions because we felt like the correspondent bank could be disintermediated and improve speed, improve cost, and reduce errors. But there's a lot of other examples like that, and we certainly think there's other vertical industries we'll go after. We've talked a little bit publicly about some things we're doing with the carbon credit marketplaces as one example, but there's some other things that we'll continue to work on to go beyond just books.
Okay, great. We'll follow more updates from Ripple and from you. Thank you for such interesting conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Man, the struggle is real this morning for me. All right, tomorrow I look forward to being more awake and going. So we got a couple things in that interview, and I go back and watch it. I don't need to reiterate what was said, right? But the big thing for me was the comparison for Amazon to Ripple. Brad's 90% of stuff is into crypto of his investment. But the big thing is that they announced he's working with banks that he's announced and central banks they haven't announced. They've announced a lot of big-time central banks, but the question is, who are they working with they haven't announced, right? And the only ones we know that haven't been testing Ripple technology is the Federal Reserve. So I'm curious, what do you guys know? What else is out there being tested that we have not seen on paper? That is the question. So let's dig into that over the next few days and see. But I want to play that for you because Monday was just some new update on the XRP. I think this month is going to be insane when it comes to price action. And I think over the next 120 days, we're going to grind our way all the way up. And this is going to be done here in the next, 5 months. So that is my outlook. I hope you enjoyed this section where we saw Mrs. Hogan speak, and Brad speak at the conference here. By the way, don't forget this. Ripple opens its first office in the European Union. The new office will be located in Dublin, Ireland. Is he a pot of gold? Is this man a pot of gold? That's all I want to say. Know what you own. Know what you own. Know what you own. This is your boy Christian Israel. I'm tuned in every single day, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Christ and Crypto Live. This is the second section for the daily topics. Is Brad our lucky charm? Are we in the right place? Let's see. All right, guys. God bless, and let's go on to the next section. Let's fade to black. Okay, we are back. And now in the last section of the day, roughly the last section of the day, I'm getting there. If you guys are still here, you get to hear this. In the middle of the summer, the show will be moving to 8 a.m. Central Time, 9 a.m. Mountain West. 8 a.m. Central Time. Yeah. Hold on. If I go 9 now, we're going to back it up to 8. Yeah. I'm so confused. Mountain West Central. We're going to be Mountain West Central in the summer. That means it's an hour earlier right now. So if it's 9:54 right now, it would be 8:54 there. So I'll get to go live. Is that right? Or if I still do 9 o'clock, I don't know. I didn't think that through. I want to do it earlier because we're an hour earlier and I go live at 9, at 8 o'clock there. Oh man, that means it's going to be 10 o'clock. It'd still be 9 o'clock. So I actually may have to go earlier. I'm not sure. So anyway, there's an announcement coming. We're relocating to more west for some big moves. And the reason is because the Lord has been on me, and has really pushed me. So let me explain that, and I'm going to go into our new section, and then I'll go into that a little bit. So let me go ahead and fade to black, and then get into the last section. This is my favorite part of the podcast. Thanks for hanging out. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, then you are a new creation. Okay. Welcome to the new creation scripture section. This is the third, the Trinity of Christ and crypto in the morning. If you are just tuning in, my name is Christian Israel, and this is the third section. Long sum, short sum is the first one. The second sum is the new, like the news of the day, and the third is where we focus on Christ. This is Christ and crypto. So everything has a center focus on Christ and biblical prophecy. Today, we're going to do scriptures. And I was just kind of giving you a little warm up. The Lord has really been on my heart, pushing me in a direction, pushing my family in another direction over the last month, like really weighing heavy on what we should do. And we have decided that we're moving. If we're going to sell our house, now is the time to sell our house. We're going to get an amazing return on the house, and we're going to buy a house that's even cheaper and larger in a small area that's up and coming, so we can focus on what I believe the Lord is really calling me to do. Really calling me to do. And I watched a sermon. So my pastor is Pastor Robert Madu of Social Dallas. And the way I came across him is that he was on Elevation Church's stream in North Carolina with Pastor Stephen Furtick, which I watched all the time. I watched as I became a believer. Pastor Furtick was kind of the pastor I really watched. And then I saw Pastor Madu come on to his sermon there in North Carolina. And then he announced that he was opening up a church in Dallas. It's probably the fastest growing church in the country. Amazing word, great pastor. Well, I happened to go on my daughter's birthday yesterday. My daughter's birthday was May 1st. And for you guys that don't know this about me, and I'm going to share something with you. May 1st, 8 years ago, my daughter's birthday, I was in a really bad place where I stood over the city of Chicago on my balcony. I was not a believer in Christ yet, but I am just about, and it's really hard for me to say this, and I had a massive breakdown yesterday to my wife, and a lot of healing happened yesterday. A lot of healing for me and my wife yesterday on so many levels. But I about committed suicide. May 1st in Chicago. In 2014. Because of where my mind plays, where the devil had me. I literally said I lived in the West Loop, put all my stuff in storage, and I thought the burdens I was carrying was too heavy for me. Broken. So I stood on top of my railing, which overlooked the Loop. You got the interstate. And then you got the double towers over here. You can see the Sears Tower over here. And I stood up there and I hung my hands up, swayed back and forth, trying to decide if I was going to go. And I was ready to go because I was too coward to do anything else. So that was the only way for me to do it. But then I heard at the time, now I know it's the Lord, pull me back. That's not how I built you. That's not how I created you. You're not a coward. I created you to fight. I created you to be strong. I created you to do my work. Now, I didn't know that was him at the time. I know that's him now. But whenever I seem to hear him the most is when I seem to have the most burdens. Do you listen to him when you don't have the burdens? Or do you wait till everything is heavy in order to listen to him? Well, the Lord knows I'm stubborn. And the only way he ever gets my attention is to make me listen. Now, my wife is different. She listens all the time. She prays every day. She's a hard prayer warrior. Even though she's not the most theologically based woman. She is a woman of faith, and I don't even think she knows where her faith really is right now and how strong it really is in Christ. I don't think she knows how strong her faith is in Christ. But her faith has kept me where I am. And so we've done a lot of prayer, done a lot of pushing, and things just seem to fall into place to make a big, big move like this, right? Because we just moved our family from Illinois to Dallas in November. And it just didn't feel right. It just felt like attack after attack after attack. Like, this is not where we're supposed to be. I love my church, but that's the only thing I love about Dallas is my church. But our family is suffering. The schools aren't the best here, the public schools anyway, right? So I want a place where our family can grow and grow in the Lord, and where we can really, I don't know, just a change of environment. And so before we make different decisions, we have to look up to the Lord. We have to rely on the Lord. And this is what I want to read to you today. This is from Philippians 4, verses 2 to 10. But before I read that, I want to read a quote to you. Okay? The quote is, "The one who expects God to do as he asks him must on his part do whatever God bids him." So I've asked the Lord to help and heal and guide me. But in the process of doing help, healing, and guiding, I have to be obedient. I have to be trusting. But more importantly, I have to have prayer. Doesn't have to be out loud. Doesn't be 50 minutes. Just has to be an internal conversation with God, because you know what? We don't need to speak out loud for the Lord to hear us. And that's what we're going to come to here in verse 4. It says here, "Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say rejoice. Let your reasonableness be known to everyone. The Lord is at hand. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. What you have learned and received and heard and seen in me. Practice these things, and the God of peace will be with you." Don't focus on all the bad things. Don't focus on the negative energy, the bad traffic, or the schools, like I said, right? Or the environment, or overtaxing of the bills, or whatever it may be. Don't focus on that. Focus on the good things. And for me, that was yesterday saying, the Lord said, be obedient. So I was obedient and talked to my wife. My wife opened her arms and put her arms around me in faith and grace and loving, showing me the love of the Lord when I'm obedient. And I woke up this morning with so much weight off of my shoulders, ready to execute in a direction the Lord has called me to, because there was prayer, there was supplication, there was understanding of God, and the peace of the Lord is here when we let him be here. And that's what I want to share with you today. When you want something, pray about it. Pray about it before you make that decision. Now, I prayed about coming here, and I felt it was called, and yes, obviously we were called to come here. Doesn't mean we are permanent. We were called to come here into the next step on our way to the wilderness, on our way to a journey where we don't know what God has for us, but we came here as a family to grow, heal, and learn, and now we can walk together. So pray about everything and have thanksgiving. Thank the Lord for what he has done and what he hasn't done yet. Look up. When you're worried, look up. This is our God. He gives you peace. He brings you peace. He wants you to have peace. So practice these things. Pure, lovely, commendable. Praise God for anything that's worthy. And in return, your heart will be desired to do the things the Lord has guided us to. That's what will give us peace. That is the word of the day. I truly appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, do the social media thing. I'm your boy Christian Israel, and that's the end of the new creation section. Let's go ahead and fade to black. This is my favorite part of the podcast. Thanks for hanging out. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, then you are a new creation. Okay, guys, that is the end of today. I appreciate you so much. We've got some craziness things going on. We're just looking at the charts here. Everything's where it should be. I appreciate you so much. I'm looking to see here. Thank you, Dragonfire. Let's go. Let's go to the top. Thank you, Lee Lord. Thank you, Bullish on XRP. Thank you, Ilya. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, my boy Dragonfire. And he says, I wonder how much Brad's capital is in crypto versus crypto companies. Yeah, that's a good question. And he says, last, glad to see everything worked out for you and your family. A lot of changes happened in the last 6 years for you and your family for the best. May it continue in the years ahead. Have a great day. Brother, I appreciate you, Dragonfire. I appreciate all of you from the bottom of my heart. You guys know my name is Christian Israel, and you are tuned to Christ and Crypto in the Morning. This is a place where we come every single day to talk about the news in the world and the charts in the world, but most importantly, we keep Christ at the center of this show. It's unique and different, but Christ is not like any other. Remember these three things. God loves you. I love you. You are loved. Until next time, guys, God bless and peace out. Later, guys. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Please make sure you like, subscribe, share this video, subscribe to this channel, and do the thing that people do on social media. At Twitter, at TikTok, you know, New Creation Capital. Let us know, guys. Thanks so much. I hope you guys have a great day. Later, guys.